Hello, welcome to Flooring Models Kit Review time. Today we've got Trumpeter's 1/48 scale MIG-21UM. New kit out. It's not often we see the two-seater. In fact, I think this is the first time we've seen it in this particular scale. UM being the Russian derivative for the two-seat trainer version. As you can see, we've got that great check one with the fanless markings on there. So, having a look around the box, as you see, we get a little bit of photo etch, some more about these markings. Your kit number for this one is 02865. Okay, there's some other bits of the markings on there and things like that. So, in the box, as you can see, quite a nice stuffed full box. Various screws. We'll just flip them out the way. And then what we'll do, we'll have a look through the instructions first. A little bit of photo etch there. Some decals. Get these out. Quite a tight box really. And the obligatory gum, more decals down here at the bottom. What's coming out, as we know. Okay, so those there. And that's a great one, we'll look at that in a moment. So, looking at the instruction sheet first, we can see usual Trumpeter's way of doing things. So you've got your sprue and part call out like that. Then we're in here, as we can see, we get a nice full-size engine as well. So starting with the nose wheel well, probably not going to put the gear in yet, as we know. Putting the engine together, the seats, some very nice systems going down there for the seats, both the seats, front and rear cockpit. Looks quite detailed, using decals for the actual instrument panels, which is fair enough in this scale. Okay, got some nice details with the sides as well. So it'd be interesting to see what the plastic actually looks like. Once you've got the cockpit tub done, then obviously you're moving on. So this is the main gear wells. We've got some missiles down here. So we've got some infrared guided missiles. Okay. Main gear itself, tyres, we noticed those. They look a bit horrible, to be honest. But there we go. We've got a decal for, looks like, the inside detail for the wheel doors as well, for the main gear doors. We'll have to have a look at that in a moment. Okay, and then generally coming along. So engine tub fitted in, pretty much standard, get those in like you do with all the MIGs and everything else. Got a little bit of electronics bay on the front as well, which is quite a nice touch. Okay, although you're not going to see it, I presume you should be able to install it open. Nose ring on, burner on the back, okay, and a couple of fuel tanks. And then, usual things, you've got the doors, seems an odd way to put them on before you do the wings, but hey ho. Okay, and then obviously we've got the air brake one for the rear and front. Okay, and some more of these little guys down here. It'd be interesting to see how those look. It looks like they're quite well detailed, the actual doors. The dorsal fin, the belly fin down the back there. Okay, and then in. So you've got different versions of, obviously, if you want it open or closed. Obviously, it looks like they are just the same one, open or closed anyway. So, okay, main wings, two halves going together. You've got the landing light only in the closed position by the looks of it. A little bit of detail. Nice to see we've got separate flaps and ailerons as well. Okay, so exactly the same for the other wheel. And then putting it together, it looks like we don't have a provision unless it's, oh no, it looks like they're separate for open cockpit, so we're okay. And then you've got the little brake at the back as well, obviously in the open or closed. Very nice touch, haven't seen that before in a kit. And going through. So it looks like it's all there generally. So if we just grab our knife, let's have a look at the plastic, see what we get. So down here, it's quite nice how they always protect their looser items, or more delicate items, shall we say. Okay, and in this case this is protecting the actual nose, the radar itself in the actual intake. So looking at the plastic just off the bat, hopefully you can see it here as well. We've got some very nice detail on this. Hopefully the closer camera will show. You can see very nice, very crisp, recessed panel lining absolutely everywhere. The hatch doors and latches look pretty good. Some of the paneling for the heat panels and things like that are slightly raised, which is nice, and generally looks very crisp. You've got the IFF antennas down there. Looks like they're going to come off at any moment, so get ready to actually replace those. Generally the detail, you might be able to see up here, we've actually got, this is that instrument thing in front of the instrument panel for all the electronics, looking pretty good. The scoops as well, if you can see on this side, you can see they're all open, which is quite a nice touch. So we've actually got working air scoops, which is a nice touch. And generally can't see any problems, no real sign of flash. The gates are all pretty nice and small. The gates are all this new raised gate way of doing it, which is quite nice because it doesn't affect the actual part itself. So they're quite nice. Generally looking good. All the riveting's good. It goes all the way round. It doesn't fade off, doesn't just blend off to anything and goes in. There's nothing really on the inside. All the ejector pin marks extremely shallow, looking very nice. Okay, so in here we got the cockpit tub, so forth and so on. So as you can see, some real nice detail in these. We just drop this top camera down a bit so you get a bit of a closer look here. As you can see, you've got some very nice details on the underside here. All this work on the inside of the bays, very nice, very sharp. That's what we were looking at. All these instruments and everything else like that, very sharp, very detailed. Okay, which puts us in mind very much of the Edard one, but actually in some ways maybe a little bit better. So generally very, very nice. The cockpit tub as well, it's got the floor in there, everything in. Got a couple of sink marks just down in here, you can probably see them. A little bit unfortunate for those, the main gear doors. And perhaps there's a little bit of flash on some of these, you can see it just down there, on some of these ejector pin marks, so you might want to be careful how those are fitting in if they're running flush. But generally, like this detail here is very, very nice, generally all over. Actually looks like a very nice kit. Okay, so this is the full engine. As you can see, all raised detail on that as you'd expect. Then we've got a few of these internal parts. We've got compression blades, burner ring, and the nozzle itself. And generally looking good. The wheels all looking good. 2-part wheels, a bit unfortunate, but perfectly adequate. The main gear legs as well, there's no real burring to them, as in the seam between the two halves, pretty good. These tail planes, as you can see, very nicely done. Catch them in the light with all of that detail showing. Nice riveting and everything else. A little tiny bit of flash around them, around the burring on the end there. Okay, but they're 2 parts sandwiched together, so I don't know if it really needs to be that, but it certainly adds a nice level of detail. Pretty good. Okay, so down in here we've got, this is the cockpit. Now we do know this kit is coming out as a single seater as well, so don't think this is just a thing. This is why I think we're getting this. Okay, so what we've got here is a little bit of a separate sprue, so it's got an extra seat on here, but also you've got some other things. You've got the wheel hubs, which a little bit disappointing if we're honest. These wheel hubs, you catch them in the light, they look quite good there, but trust me, and up to your eye, they're pretty blank. Pretty plain, nothing really exciting there, but pretty good. Clear part, we'll have to look at the moment. Let's have a look at the wings. Okay, sorry, cut that one wrong. Better. So the wings, very thin. Okay, so we've got some lovely detail. Hopefully you can see that. All that nice recessed riveting detail, extremely fine, very, very nice. As good as you're going to find on any kit. Okay, it's got a slight texture to it, but that's okay. It's going to take a wash, the paint very, very nicely. The gear doors, again, extremely nice, very sharp, very crisp. No problem with any of those. The control surfaces, again, very nice. Small amount of texture to them, nice riveting detail, things like that, as you can see going on there. Okay, inside of the actual wheel well itself is quite nice. We've got this nice paneling with the riveting marks to the upper skin, things like that. That's lovely, nice little touches. These doors we were saying about, very nice touch again. You've got all these details showing through, no problem at all. Got the pitot tubes and the various sensors up here, very nicely molded. That's absolutely really nice. Okay, the tail. Okay, we're assuming trumpeters, obviously we know they're coming out with, I think it's the PMF version, but it's coming out very shortly. But certainly I imagine the way it's broken down, we're going to get all the different versions of MiG-21s. Okay, looking at the tail, got a tiny little bit of flash just down here on the bottom. It's really hanging it out. But generally, really nice. As I said, nice details. You can see that riveting and panel line detail showing through, absolutely lovely. Got the skid tail down the back here again, looking very nice. The rudder. It's a separate piece, so it's a little bit positionable. Okay, again, it's just these IFFs. I've got a feeling they probably knocked them off. They're quite chunky. They're a little bit too chunky for the scale, I think, but generally not too bad at all. Really nice. Okay, last up we've got the fuel tanks and the missiles. So say it's duplicate sprue, as you can imagine. So we've got the standard MiG-21 tanks, the standard sort of sidewinder-ish item. Okay, and then generally looking good. Even the actual pylons themselves, you see the level, we've got some nice details on there. Some very nice stuff. As you can see, all of those very nicely done. It's all recessed. A little bit softer perhaps on the fuel tanks, but that's fair enough. It's probably how it would be. So, clear part. Let's have a look how clear a clear part is. Now, I eat my hat if it's not, because I was saying in previous reviews that the one thing you can always depend on is a nice clear part, okay, with the Trumpeter kits. Let's hope they don't disappoint. Pretty good. Just wondering what that is. I have got a small web in mine. When we say a web, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. It looks like a scratch. You might be able to just see it. Just runs across here. If I catch it, obviously, maybe the other camera's getting it. I don't know. But I've got a small web on mine, which is a little bit unfortunate. As I said, when you get the webbing effect, it's what we when the injection of the actual clear plastic or the styrene goes in, obviously at some point it comes around and it goes all through all these things, and then it butts up. Where you get that butted join, sometimes you can get a little hair moment, and you can see it sometimes on larger areas. I don't know if these have got any. Yeah, these have got them. So you might see you get the difference in colour, this sort of, you know, difference in the shade. We're not talking the panel line here, but you can actually see like a wave, a line running down here. This is just where it comes in and it touches. It doesn't matter those parts, clear parts it does. It's nice to see it flow through and then out. Okay, but unfortunately with this one, this mid canopy has got a join mark halfway across it, where we're assuming the injection ports come in. Just wondering where they are on these. Underneath it looks like in these, and then it comes up and wraps around. Well, mine's got it. The front wing glass is absolutely crystal clear, no problem with that. The side ones, perhaps a little bit of texture. Okay, slightly unfortunate because we've been really spoilt recently. The rear one's absolutely fine, no problem. It's just like my one here, it's just got it around there. It may be just mine, your kit might not have it. Okay, all the other clear parts, very, very nice. Okay, so the markings you actually get, you've got these great ones here, okay, for the Czech one from the Stress team. Okay, as you can see, something a little bit different, a little bit wacky, really, really nice. Or you've got your more traditional Polish ones, okay, and you've got your Libyan ones, and then obviously we've got a Russian one as well in that nice sort of tri-camo scheme like that, okay. The decals themselves, as I say, we've got some instrument panels in there, probably nothing really to shout home about. And then in here, we've actually got the parts themselves. So what we've actually got is, we can get these apart. We've got this one for this particular marking, goes on top of the wings. You've got all that hatching, all the striping, okay. Looks very, very nice, no problem with any of that. And we've got the brickwork, okay, just like so. And then the other one, which has got our traditional markings, very nicely done, very nice and register, all these ones at the top. And you see we've got the Russian ones, the Libyan, the Polish one as well, very nice, no problem with that. And even the small little you know, markings down here for all the placards and that, all seem to be good, all seem to be in register, no problem with any of that. So that's really nice. A couple of rubber tyres we spoke about before, pretty yuck, but you know, I think it'll do. And we get a little bit of photo etch, which we spoke about as well. So we've got a little bit of harnessing down in there, a couple of blades, and then some tails as well. So that's it. So there we go. That is the MiG-21 from Trumpeter. I have to say, it's a really good kit.